Namaskar everyone and welcome to day 16 of our Dhanurmasa Satsanga. Lakshmi Natha Samarambham Natayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuta Padambuja Yugma Rugma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmad Gurur Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindhoho Ramanujasya Charanam Sharanam Prapadye आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना. So with prayers at the lotus feet of the Acharyas and Sri Rama, let us continue today. In yesterday's satsang, we had stopped at the point where Sita manages to convince Rama that she will go along with him to the Vanavas, and they do dana and they are getting ready. So now, once they have finished all this, they are now coming out of that chamber in their palace so that they can proceed to meet Dasharath Raja and seek his blessings and go to Vanavas. So as they both come out from that place, Lakshmana is waiting outside, armed with his bow and arrow and other things, and he says, "Come, Rama, let us go." Rama is surprised. He says, "What is this, Lakshmana? Where are you going? Where are you saying come?" Lakshmana says, "No, I am also coming along with you to Vanavas. Why are you surprised?" Rama says, "No, but I never told you that you have to come with me, and I never agreed to this that you should come along with me. How can you decide on your own? Why are you insisting like this that you are going to come with me?" Then Lakshmana tells Rama that you have not told me in as many words, but don't you know that it is but natural that I will follow you? If you go, wherever you go, I will follow you. You remember when you talked to Kausalya and you were saying, you were requesting Kausalya that she has to give permission to go to Vanavas. That time when you said, you never said give me permission. You said give us permission. Who is that us? Whom did you mean by us? He asks. So Rama feels kind of cornered now because he did say give us permission. So he tries to get out of that situation by telling Lakshmana that I meant that, like, sometimes we say, no, in plural, we refer to ourselves in our with that royal tag like that. So that's why I said us like that. So Lakshmana said, okay, fine. Even if that is so, you remember you were talking to Sita and you were telling her that after I go to Vanavas, you have to take care of Bharata like your brother, take care of Shatrughna like your son. You remember you never told her about how she has to take care of me. Why? Why didn't you tell her that? You remember yesterday I told you this, right? That please note this point that Rama is not saying how to take care of Lakshmana. So Lakshmana has got that point now. And he says, you did not tell Sita that she has to take how she has to take care of me, because in your inner heart, you know that there cannot be any separate existence for me. Wherever you are, I will be there. So you also know that, and that is why you have been prepared actually that I am going to go along with you. And actually, if we look at it, there is nothing wrong in Lakshmana assuming that Rama is going to understand that he will go along, isn't it? You remember that story of the children crying in the cradle? That time we said that the minute Lakshmana was put next to Rama in the same cradle, all the crying stopped. Then we remember the example where when Vishwamitra Rishi comes and he asks for Rama, he never asked that Dasharath Raja should send Lakshmana along with Rama. But the minute Rama got up and started going, then Lakshmana also followed him automatically, isn't it? So there is no question of Lakshmana being separated from Rama ever. Even when they took birth, now this Lakshmana is considered as an avatar of Adishesha, the serpent god on whom the Lord is resting in Vaikunta, in the Shirabdi, everywhere. So Adishesha is always there with the Lord. There is no question of him being separated. So when the Lord took avatara, Rama was born first. and Lakshmana came after that only. At the time when they go back to Sri Vaikuntha at the end of the Rama Avatara, Lakshmana goes back first and only then Rama goes. So there is never any moment where Lakshmana has been separated from Rama. There have been times like when Rama took Avatara first, till the time that Lakshmana was born, there was separation between them. At the time when they returned back to Sri Vaikuntha, between Lakshmana going and Rama going, there was some gap. But for Lakshmana, there has never been any gap in his seva of Rama. And here, when talking about this exchange between the two brothers, where Lakshmana traps Rama and says, "You know very well that I'm going to come with you," there the Acharyas say that this Lakshmana, who is Adishesha Avatara, we know that Adishesha has 1,000 heads. And because of that, that means we know that these snakes, their hearing is from that certain aperture which is there in their head part. So not only does he has 1,000 heads, and because of that he can hear very well. So he has heard whatever Rama has told, and the 1,000 head means there are 1,000 tongues also, which is why Lakshmana has this ability to talk in such a way that it convinces Rama, and Rama cannot escape from Lakshmana. He has to agree to what Lakshmana told. Now, what happens next is once Rama is kind of, not having any answer to give, then Lakshmana falls at the feet of Rama and Sita as they are standing before him. He offers obeisance to them. He says, "I will come along with you. You have to take me with you." And this is the third instance of Sharanagati in the Ramayana. You remember we talked about how Ramayana is Sharanagati Shastra, and we said that the first instance was when the deities, the devatas, went to Lord Sriman Narayana in the Kshirabdi and begged for protection against the Asuras and Rakshasas. The second instance we saw was when Dasharatha fell in front of Parshurama and begged for Rama to be saved. Now is the third instance of Sharanagati, and this definitely yielded the fruit. You remember those criteria we talked about, that if somebody has to, the Sharanagati has to fructify, then there have to be those qualities of Akinchanyam and Ananyagatitvam in that person who is surrendering, and there have to be qualities of Paratvam and Saulabhyam in the person to whom the surrender is being made. Now, all these criteria are being met. Rama has Paratvam and Saulabhyam. Lakshmana has Akinchanyam and Ananyagatitvam. And because of that, and the Lord, it is his desire also. He also does not want to be separated from Lakshmana. So this Sharanagati fructifies. Now, at that point, when Lakshmana offers Namaskar to Rama, there Valmiki Shloka tells us what is it that is happening. So he says, Sabhratush charanau gadham nipidya raghunandanaha Sitam uvacha raghavam cha mahavratam. That Lakshmana tightly pressed the feet of his brother and spoke as follows to Rama, who was performing a great vow, and to Sita, who enjoyed great honor. Now, here, when Acharyas give Vyakhya for this, then continuing further, Lakshmana says, Bhavamstu sahavaideya girisanushu ramsyate aham sarvam karishyami jagratah swapatah chate. You, along with Sita, enjoy yourself when we are going on the mountains or in the plains and everywhere. I will do everything for you when you are waking or you are sleeping. So here the Acharyas explain what is the bhava of this Lakshmana. So then they are telling, right, that Lakshmana. Who is that Lakshmana? What do they mean by saying that Lakshmana? That Lakshmana who was only born for Rama Kainkarya, for seva to Rama. That Lakshmana who cried as a baby when he was separated from Rama. That Lakshmana who went unasked with Rama when Vishwamitra came to call them. So this Lakshmana is who is being referred to here. So the Acharyas tell us that right from day one, from the time of his birth, Lakshmana has been showing this quality of being totally and entirely dependent on the Lord and no question of any separation between them. The second thing the Acharyas explain is that they are telling Charanau Gadam Nipidya. So he tightly pressed the brother's feet. So when we catch hold of somebody's feet, what do we indicate? That ananyagatitva, that quality, that there is no other refuge for us, isn't it? If we hold on to somebody's hand, they can always, just brush our hand away. But if we catch hold of somebody's feet, they cannot do anything. They are bound to grant whatever it is that we are begging of them. So, by pressing the brother's feet tightly, he indicated that there is no other refuge for him. Now, here the Acharyas give an extra explanation that they are saying Lakshmana pressed the feet. So, charanau, when you say, it is dual form. So, it says that 2 feet. And why these 2 feet are being referred to? Here in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they tell that the number 2 indicates that the Lord is both the Upayam and He is the Upayam. He is the end whom we are seeking to reach. He is our the purpose of why we are doing sadhana, and he is the upayam. He is the marga also. He is the upayam means he is the marga, and he is the upayam means he is the end goal. So whether when we want to get somewhere normally in worldly life, the means that we use to get there is different from the final goal. But in case of attaining the lotus feet of the Lord's lotus feet, they are the marga for us, because by holding on to the lotus feet, we are going to get to him. And he is itself the ultimate end goal. So both the upayam and the upayam are the Lord only. That is why here the Acharyas say that Valmiki has used this word charanam. That is one thing. Now, further, we are saying that he is telling here that he was going to perform, he's going to follow Rama, who is going to perform a great vow, right? What is this Rama's Mahavrata? What is that great vow which Rama has taken? It is what the Lord vows always. And later we will see when Vibhishana approaches Rama and surrenders to him, at that point of time, we will hear Rama saying in his own words, what is that vow that he has taken? He is going to tell Vibhishana, during Vibhishana Sharanagati, he is going to tell this, Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti cha yachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadamyetat Vratam Mama. That if just once somebody surrenders to me and says that I am yours completely, then I will take care of that person and I will protect him against everything in this world. That is my vrata, Rama is going to say at that point. And already now we know what is Rama's vrata. So by pressing the feet of the Lord, Lakshmana is indicating that, oh Rama, you have this great vrata. So I am one of the first people who is going to make use of that vrata of yours, that you are going to accept whoever comes and surrenders to you. So you have to accept me also. Fine. Then here, if you see in this shloka, the construction is such, Sitam uvacha atishayam. Like that it is saying. But it is it can be used to understand that Lakshmana is talking to Rama, or you can also say Lakshmana is talking to Sita. Why is Lakshmana talking to Sita? So this Sita Muvacha, if you take it in that context, then this Sita is none other than Shri. She is Mahalakshmi Devi, who is always residing on the Vakshasthala of the Lord. So who is this Shri? When Acharyas explain the meaning of this word Shri, they say Shri is one who performs 6 actions. Shrinoti, Shravayati, Shriyate, Shrayate, Shrinati, Shrinati. So what are all these 6 actions? The first one is Shrinoti. She listens to us, the children who pray. Shravayati. She makes the Lord also listen to our prayer. Shriyate. She is the one whom we approach. Shrayate. She is the one that after we approach her, she approaches the Lord on our behalf. Shrinati. She is the one who cleanses us and makes us fit enough to go into the Lord's presence. And Shrinati, the one who prepares us to reach the Lord. So if you want to understand this through an example, then here the example is quoted by the Acharyas, that if, let us say, there is a child and the mother and father had told that child that don't go out and play in the mud. It is raining and it is dirty everywhere. Don't go out and play there. You will get dirty. But the child does not listen. It goes and plays and it comes back with its face, hands, legs, and clothes and everything dirtied, right? Now, seeing this dirty child, the father is very angry and he is going to now scold the child. But before that happens, when before the father can see the child, the mother sees the child. That child also, if he is smart, he will come towards the mother and say, please, I'm sorry, let me inside, like that. So that mother, what she will do, she will listen to what that child is saying. She will then cleanse that child. She will make that child clean and prepare him so that he is able to be clean now. And then she will take that child who has now been cleaned to in the presence of the father. And she will say, see this boy, he has played, but he is now clean. He has come to you. So you please accept him. And then that father will accept that child, although he was initially angry. So like that, we jivas in this world, we do lot of papa karmas. We do lot of wrong deeds. We do lot of things which are against what is told in the Shastras. And because of that, there is a likelihood that the Lord may get angry with us. We said, no, the Lord has the two eyes of the Lord. One is the Surya, one is the Chandra. So one is the sun and one is the moon. So sometimes we can't predict. If the Lord is looking at us through the eye, which is the sun, then he will get angry on us for all the wrongs that we have done. If he happens to be in a good mood and looks on us with a cool eye, he may accept, but we cannot predict. But the mother, the Devi, she always has only moon like eyes. She always has only the cool and loving glance of a mother. So if we want to get the definite grace of the Lord, if we approach the Lord through the Devi, through the mother, then we can be guaranteed that we will be accepted by the Lord also, because she is the one who will cleanse us of our sins first, and she will prepare us so that we can go stand in front of the Lord. Here, the Acharyas give a wonderful example that a devotee once was having a conversation. Now, that devotee went to pray to the Lord and then reached the mother. There are separate sannidhis for the Lord, isn't it? For the Lord and the Devi. So, after praying towards the Lord, he went to the mother. Now, the mother said, did you see what was the position of the Lord's hands? So he said, yeah, that one Abhayasta is there. The Lord is saying that, don't worry, I will take care of you. I saw that. Then this Devi also has Abhayasta. So she says, okay, your Lord will take care of you. But what if the Lord gets angry with you? That is why I am having Abhayahasta. When my Abhayahasta what my Abhayahasta tells is that don't worry, even if the Lord gets angry on you, I will take care of you. Such is the importance given to the blessings and grace of the mother. So in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, we are say using this prefix as Sri, isn't it? So when you say Vaishnava, a Vaishnava is somebody who is following the path of worship to Vishnu. Now, when we call ourselves as Sri Vaishnava, what we are referring to is that we are giving the same level of importance to Devi as our mother. Shri is the primary source for us, and through her we are approaching the Lord. She recommends on our behalf, and that is how we get to enjoy the unlimited grace of the Lord. So that is why here Acharya say that why Lakshmana waited. He could have told Rama that I am coming along with you at the very beginning itself, isn't it? He didn't do that. He waited because he wanted a time when Rama and Sita, the Lord and Devi, will be together. And then there is no question of the Lord refusing to accept his Sharanagati. That is how it is that Lakshmana waited for Rama and Sita to come outside, and then he fell at their feet. And in the presence of Sita, he did Sharanagati to Rama, and that was accepted by Rama. It became successful. Now, in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, we know that Swami Ramanujacharya, he is the one who promised that all people who have sambandha with me, all people who have some relation with me, they are guaranteed moksha. How did that come to be? Now, Swami Ramanujacharya is considered as an avatara of Adishesha also. So, just like Lakshmana was Adishesha avatara, Swami Ramanuja is also an Adishesha avatara. He came during the Kali Yuga. Lakshmana was there during Treta Yuga when Rama was there. During Kali Yuga, Swami Ramanuja incarnated. Now, Or in Srirangam, there is one Utsava which is celebrated called as the Panguni Uttaram Utsavam. So this Panguni Uttaram is the day on which Rama and Sita actually got married. And that is the day when the Lord at Srirangam, Swami Ranganathar, and his Devi, Ranganayaki Tayar, they are on all other days in the year in the temple, they are the vigrahas, the murtis are always kept separately. But on this day of Panguni Uttaram, both these vigrahas of the Lord and the Devi are kept together in one place. It is called as Serti Seva because Serti means they are combined, they are together. So that Serti Seva is a very rare and divine occurrence. It occurs only once in a year on the day of that Panguni Uttaram. Some other time, maybe we will talk about that Utsavam. It's a very interesting anecdote and very nicely conducted festival, and there's lots to learn in that also. But however, what happened is at one point of time, one year, when Ramanujacharya was in Srirangam and he participated in this Panguni Uttaram Utsavam, once the Lord and Devi were together, Swami Ramanuja goes in front of them, he prostrates and he offers Sharanagati. He says that I want you to guarantee me moksha. The Lord agrees. So first he prays to Devi and then he praises the Lord. And he has many compositions. There is the Sharanagati Gadya, Vaikunta Gadya. Like that, he has composed all these Gadyas, which are works of prose, and he offers them to the Lord and he says, I want you to promise that because I have done Sharanagati to you, that I am guaranteed moksha. So the Lord says, yes, of course, I will grant it to you. And then out of his divine compassion, out of so much karuna that Swami Ramanuja has, he says that I want this moksha guaranteed not only for me, but for anybody and everybody who has my sambandha, who is some way connected to me. And very happily, the Lord grants that also. So we can see the similarities now between what Lakshmana did and what Swami Ramanuja did. Lakshmana waited for Rama and Sita to be together and did Sharanagati to them. Swami Ramanujacharya also waited for this day of Panguni Uttaram when the Lord and the Devi were together and then he performs Sharanagati. Both of them have asked for opportunities for Kainkarya so that they can use that as the Madhyama to get to the Lord. Only the big difference is that Lakshmana asked for opportunity to do seva for himself. He said, I will do, right? He told, Aham sarvam karishyami. He said, I will do the seva. But Swami Ramanujacharya asked that everybody who is some way connected to me should be given the opportunity for seva. The Lord should accept us all as his dasas and promise moksha to everyone. So that is the major difference between what Adishesha did in the avatara of Lakshmana and in the avatara of Swami Ramanujacharya. So there is another thing that I didn't mention before, that here when Lakshmana says, Aham sarvam karishyami. What is this sarvam karishyami? I will do everything for you. And later as we go through the life of these three people as they are going in the Vanavas, we will see exactly how Lakshmana fulfilled that promise. And he's saying, Jagrata swapatah chate. He's telling, when you are waking or you are sleeping, I will do everything for you. Now, what he is implying is that when you are sleeping, I will continue to serve you by staying awake. And there's an interesting story in this regard. We will talk about it maybe tomorrow or day after. But Lakshmana is promising that while you sleep, you and Sita, when you are sleeping also, I will stay awake and protect you and take care of you. And that is why, in fact, that because Lakshmana sacrificed his sleep and he did seva so much, there is this name which is given to Lakshmana in Tamil. He's called as Uranga Villi Dasar. Dasar we know, Dasa, the Sevaka, right? Uranga means without sleeping. Villi, he had a bow in his, he was a archer. So Uranga Villi Dasar refers to that servant of Lord Rama who was an archer and who served Rama without sleeping by staying awake all the time. So that is the importance of this Sharanagati of Lakshmana. See the bhava of Lakshmana, that you remember we told when these babies were being named that Vasishta named this child as Lakshmana. He is the elder son of Sumitra, and he was named as Lakshmana. And we said that the Vyakhya for that is Lakshmano Lakshmi Sampannaha. What Lakshmi does he have? Now, there was no need for Lakshmana to go away into the forest, but he is going willingly and happily. So, although he is going to the forest, still, how can we say that he is Lakshmi Sampanna? Because what is that Lakshmi that he is having? What is that prosperity that he is having? That, the Acharyas say, is the Lakshmi of Kainkarya, the Lakshmi of performing seva. That Kainkarya Lakshmi is what he has. We can say in connection to Rama, the Acharyas explain that you can say that Rama lost his, kingship for some time. When he went to Vanvas for those 14 years, he was not the king. He was not the ruler of any kingdom. But Lakshmana never lost kingship of the Samrajya of Seva. Always Lakshmana was the king of this kingdom called as Seva or Kainkarya. And from Lakshmana's example, we must understand and learn that how it is to perform Seva to the Lord. That we must be ready to do anything and everything at all times for the joy of the Lord. That is what we must pray for. And from all these things that we have talked about what is the Vrata of the Lord, what is the importance of Shri, all these things should convince us that we must perform Sharanagati to the Lord. And that is the path to attain his lotus feet in Vaikuntha. So let us pray that the Lord will bless us to be able to do this. Let us ask for the grace of the Acharya, grace of the Lord to be always on us. Mangalam Kosalendraya, Mahaniya Gunabdaye, Chakravarti Tanujaya, Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam, Veda Vedanta Vedyaya, Megha Shamalamurtaye, Pumsam Mohana Rupaya, Punya Shlokaya Mangalam, Pitrabhaktaya Satatam, Bhratrabhihi Sasitaya, Nandita Kila Lokaya, Ramabhadraya Mangalam, Srimate Raghuviraya, सेतुलङ्घितसिन्धवे जितराक्षसराजाय रणधीराय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलाशासनपरैर्मदाचार्यपुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यैः सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम्. Thank you, everybody. We'll meet again tomorrow with the next set of events that unfold in the Ramayana. Namaskar.